Good. Okay. This is Flash, my horse, and he tends to be a little bit on the anxious side. I don't know what your horse is like, but I use this. It's called an endo-tapping whip, and it just has a little foam ball on the end to kind of take the swat out of it. If you do have a sensitive horse, but you don't have an endo-tapping whip or a foam ball to put on the end of a whip, you can just use the rubber handle side, because you want more of a thud against them rather than a swat. You're trying to get them to relax down towards it, and if you got a big flinging popper in their nose, you're not very likely to accomplish that. So I'll just give you a couple demos of what it's supposed to look like. You can cue it from anywhere, and the longer you whip, obviously, the more. I just tap in the center until I'm round. And he's kind of looking around. That's okay. Round. He has not done this for a while. Round. Good. And you want to try to reward them away from you. You don't want them to come out of the round and towards you. You want to try to reward them when they're down here. It just reinforces it a little bit better. So we're having a little trouble. He's guessing a lot of things right now. We haven't played with this in a while. We've been mostly doing jumping and stuff. And he has a couple tricks. The reason why I ask in the middle of the chest for round, you can see there he's trying to Spanish walk. Round. So you just got to be consistent. Try to reward him there. The reason I ask him in the center is because when I do the points and shoulders, it's his cue for Spanish walk. And I'm just trying to make it a little easier on him. But the nice thing is, if you do teach your horse Spanish walk, lots of horses can't do Spanish walk round, they get all strung out. But if you're already queuing up in this area and you happen to be, overreaching and you tap him here and he rounds out while Spanish walking, that's pretty good in my opinion. So then I showed some of this just relaxed on a loose rein. I'll show you how to do it. I have a green horse tied over there. He's never done it before because Flash has always obviously done this a little bit. And once you have him round, just in a halter. I'm not assisting him right now, but again, I'll show you with my other guy how to actually make them hold the frame. Flash just kind of does it himself now because he knows what's going on. But my other horse won't. So if you want to ride bridleless with the neck rope, this would be my transition stage anyway. The other option for transition is you can ride with 2 whips, and I prefer 2 whips because then you have one on each side without having to kind of screw around, and you can also cross them in front of your horse. I'd recommend a dressage whip. Like, this guy's a little bit short for what I would want to do with that. So you can either choose the neck rope for your transition or the double whip, or the neck rope and then the double whip and then eventually to nothing at all. So when you want this to translate, I just have my reins here wrapped around his neck. And all I'm going to do is give him the vocal round, and then I'm going to lift my hand so that the rope bumps the underside of his neck. And he's just guessing right now. Don't get frustrated at this. And then I'm going to back it up by tapping round with my whip. Round. Good. Round. Round. And as soon as he rounds without putting his foot up, good, he gets the reward. So timing is important there to release. And when you first start teaching a horse this, they're kind of just going to be like round, round. Still reward that. They're starting to make themselves feel better the more they round. And the better they feel, the more they're going to stay down there. And pretty soon it's going to be pretty easy for them. Like I said, he hasn't done this for probably like a year. So it's a pretty easy thing to teach a horse when you're just trying to make them feel good. So I'm gonna go get more cookies and switch to my green bean and show you where to start. Actually, I lied. Here, we're gonna show you how to translate it to movement. So it's the exact same ask. Try to stay at the horse's shoulder until you get better, and then you can really ask from anywhere. And as he walks round, he's gonna try to get Spanish walk, and that's okay. Nope. Round. If your horse is really having trouble, bring him back to a stop. Round. Good. Round. Good. Round. Good. And I'm going to reward him as he's walking. Round. Good. 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 A little better. Round. 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 Good. Round. Good. Other way. Round. Keep going. Oh. Round. Round. Good. 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 I'm not really going for straight right now. It's okay if he's turning his head. Just make sure they're not being rude in your space. So if he especially turns his head the opposite way when you're asking around. No. Round. Good. Round. Good. And it's okay if they fudge a little. It'll smooth out as they do it more and more. And they'll start wanting to stay there because they're nice and relaxed. Just watch you do a little bridle-less work now. And then show you the other guy. So, you don't have to take your halter off to ride bridle-less. I'm just gonna do it for ease right now. And, I'm a big cheater. Well, my one piece of advice to you that I kind of wish I would have had before is when you're trying to round, try to lift your hand more up rather than using it as brakes and back up, which is a little more like towards your belly button, right? So I'm going to lift my hand up and I'm going to say round. I'm going to tap. Good. Oh, and see, he's trying to get back, so don't get upset at that. Just be persistent. Round. Oh. Round. Oh. No. You're facing the camera. Round. And then just very low energy. Oh. Just to keep encouraging him to stand still. Round. And if they're, again, getting quite confused, round. You can use your treat hand a little bit to round and then touch. And then give them the treat there. Good, round. And then try again. So I'm going to start with round, the word, and then hand, and then whip. So we're going to go round. Oh, and then hand, round. And then round. Good. Oh, flash. Good, good. No. Round. Round. So now he's not sure if I'm saying good up the leg. Round. Good. Round. Good boy. Good. And it's okay if he's trying to play with the whip and stuff. Like, don't worry about all that stuff. Sure. Of course, airplane. raise your hands to make him round. And you don't want to be nagging on him all the time, right? You just want to kind of bump him a little bit and hope he rounds out a little. I mean, he stays pretty round, but I'm guessing you mean like good high school dressage round, like working towards passage round under no bridle. That's kind of what I took it to mean. Sorry, hard for me to stay in frame when I'm riding around here, but round. Good boy. And I just want him to. Good. Good. Oh, good boy. Round. So, the nice thing about this exercise is that you just do it as you're kind of working around them, grooming. You give them a little round, and again, he's guessing. And don't get upset if you do have your horse knowing other tricks and they're guessing, because that's actually quite flattering that they're offering you all these things. They just don't know. Good. Don't try to eat the eggs. Good. Go on. As you're walking around, kind of grooming them, prepping for your ride, you just kind of, you're down here and you're brushing them, and then you're asking for round. Good. No leg. And oh my, put the foot down. Good. 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 And my mare, who is actually the one I used for most of my bridleless and all this, she was really good, and she would just offer it all the time. Like, you would reach down to pick up her foot and she would be like, round, look at me. And pretty soon it just starts to come very naturally to them. So I'm probably going to take him for another ride at the end here. Good boy. You see that? I didn't even ask for it. I just went to adjust the neck rope and he's already doing that. So you can see how it easily translates. And then once it's a reflex, and it's a reflex that makes him feel good, he's going to want to go there every time I kind of touch this rope or I'm doing anything with him. Good boy, good boy, good. Good boy. They kind of get in their own mood and they start to be self-training. And you don't really, like, I reward with the cookies when I'm establishing a cue, but you don't have to reward it in the sense you have to take a break from it. Like, usually if I'm teaching a horse something new, I take lots of walks, and if they're getting flustered, you go away, come back. But something like this, the more you do it and the longer they hold it, the better they feel. So taking a break from it can actually be a little bit counterproductive. And see, now he's offering it. I'm just petting him near the area where it's asking for a round, and he's going, this is the easiest trick I've ever learned. All I have to do is put my head around. Good. Round. Good boy. Good boy. And it's actually one of those self-feeding cycles. It becomes something they want to do, and it's just good relationship builder. So.